about a little bit about age discrimination and dating as a single father. Usually we hear the opposite situation of women say that men may not date them because they have a kid, but very hardly do we hear she won't date me because I have a kid. So without further ado, I want to introduce the Information Man Show and let him come in his own way. What's going on, my brother? Good to have you.
Hey, everybody. Hey, O'Shea, brother, love you. You're out there in the motherland right now. It's good to see you. It's good to see everybody that's coming into the chat room. And I'm just glad to be here, brother. So thank you for, having me on once again.
All right. And once again, brother, I definitely thank you for being on. Just for some of the people who may not know you, because on this main channel, I don't really stream as often as I do on the other channel. But for some people who may not know you, what is your channel about and what brought you to the YouTube platform? Okay.
Basically, I go by the name Information Man. Just give you a little quick history. I've used that name for a long time. I used to do a little blog talking with a good friend of mine that goes by the name Lion's Den. I was a part of US Network. There's a brother named Lee Michaels who's been in the radio game for a long time. And I used to be a frequent caller in that show and became a little bit of a fixture in that program. And then eventually I moved over to YouTube because I wanted to continue to have a voice and grow. And I've always been on YouTube for a long time. I just never cracked open content. So Information Man really stands for the fact that I want to give you information that's going to, one, open up one's mind, that's going to educate you. And then I also want to have a dialogue where I can learn from other people. So my show, I'm breaking sort of the rules of YouTube because most channels usually just focus on one topic. What I do, I touch on everything. Black issues. I'm going to talk about science. I've got a premiere video I'm going to premiere later on this evening after the Rumble show about reparations. And this program will be about a plan, how reparations could actually work comprehensively. You're going to be very surprised by what I'm doing on there. So I'm going to be talking about science, health, all sorts of issues, family issues, men's health, all of it. I'm going to cover the span, which is why I give myself the name Information Man. So you get a little bit of everything on this show. And also, too, I'm experimenting with a new series called Black to Black. And what I'm doing with that is I'm sort of giving you a Matrix special effects type look where I'm going to get into like unusual issues. I talked about the animated car or the self-driven cars for the future and how they're already saying that these cars can't read black people, dark skin. So I talked about that unusual subject matter. They came out with a new study from Stanford University, which I know the university very well. Have a lot of friends there, where they're talking about on using data across the country about how black men particularly are pulled over by the cops. And they give great numbers and data as to why this is happening comprehensively. Okay. And so that's what I'm doing.
Okay. So a lot of different things. Information Man, Sean, I'm glad. Typically, when me and you are ever in the same vicinity, we're talking a lot about black issues as it relates to African American communities. We may also delve into the possibilities of Pan-African issues and hashtag ADOS. But to focus on you as a father and black men who are in your position out there who are divorced or have a child that they're raising at least partly, or by it seems to me that I've always heard that men such as yourself who have been married previously and you're now raising your daughter at least part-time or full-time, such men are always to be revered. But on one particular show, you mentioned that women your own age actually discriminate against you for having a child, even if they have a child. But can you kind of tell us, though, what do you really mean when you say this?
Well, basically, brother, it's a double standard between women and men, and particularly when you look at the black community. And what I mean by this is that oftentimes you have sisters or women in general who will say, why won't a man date me because I have why won't they date me? They're discriminating against me because I have a child. So you have a lot of women out there who have children that feel that as a man, you should be willing to date them no matter how many kids that they have, that you should be able to see them for who they are and judge them for their actions, their, what have you. Well, when it comes to men, I don't always believe or feel or have experienced that our sisters or women in general give the same liberty to men that they want us to give to them. So I've been in situations where I've been on date sites, dating, meeting people, where women will tell you what they're looking for. And then you're very honest. I put on my date site, hey, I have a child. And then you get involved. Then you start talking to them, and they never at some point say that they're not interested in you because you have a child. But somewhere down the line, it becomes a problem for them. And then let me also add this, and I'll end right here. One of the problems that I've always had is that as a black man, particularly black people, that when you meet women, they'll ask you, how many kids do you have? And that's a problem.
Oh my God, man, that happens in Africa too, brother. Oh, boy, say that again. That is
when you meet women, they always say to you, well, how many kids do you have? Right? Mm-hmm. And what I've experienced when I was much younger, because I had my daughter kind of a little bit later on in my life. Okay. They'll say, I'll say, hey, I have no kids. And then they'll almost think that you're lying to them. And they'll try to ask you the question again to see if they can slip you up. I'm like, no, I have no kids. And then when you tell them you have no kids, they'll say, well, what's wrong with you? You're 33 years old. You're 34 years old. You have no kids. Then when you do have a kid down the line, now they're saying, well, this is what I got. Wow, your child is kind of young. What's going on with that? And I'll say once again, well, I had my child when I was a little bit older. And then I always find myself doing this, O'Shea. And this is just something that black men have to do. I always emphasize I have one child and I was married. Because the stereotype about black men is that we have kids out of wedlock, that black men don't get married, which is total bullshit, bovine excrement, right? And that black men have kids all over the place. So when I say I have a child and I was married, then I'll be countered by that woman by saying, oh, well, how many kids do you have? Do you got earwax in your ear? I said I have one child. They assume that you still got other kids across town. That's the double standard.
Okay, information, man, I got to do a response video to that statement. And it's so true, man. It's not even the case in America, even in Africa. Mm-hmm. You brothers have been over here. I ran into a few brothers in Africa. Shout out to you brothers that I've met over here in Uganda. I'm so glad to meet some of you brothers out there, out here. African women also assume that you 30, how many kids do you have? You don't have no kids? Oh, well, you mean you don't want to tell me about them? It's the same thing. And then when you try to explain, like a brother like yourself, you're from California just like I am. Most you need to have some sort of situation, college, education. You got to put yourself through school. You can't do that for the most part if you have a child. And then you got to, get yourself into the entry-level career, try to build yourself up. And then once you can get stable, and shout out to all my brothers out there in the Bay Area and in Sacramento and California and the West Coast, where it's really expensive. This is what black men are doing. It's almost like they don't expect that black men can be that responsible to take care of themselves, have information man show does in the background, all that nice equipment with 35,000 laptops. It's like that we're not supposed to be able to do this. It's like if you were white, it would be totally okay. Mm-hmm. But why do you think that is, brother? Why do you think that it's not? It's such a shock when a black woman meets somebody like you who has their stuff together. Okay, you took care of this business and did everything you're supposed to do in your life, but now they mad. What's going on with that, brother?
Brother, I think what's happened is that I'm just going to keep it 100% real with you. I think there are black men in our community, or in these communities, as those would say, who are hurting black men who have their shit together. Now, those out there are going to say, uh-oh, info man, you're creating a divide between the so-called educated black man and the Pookie and Ray Ray black man. I'm going to keep it 100% real. Black women grow up. they get attracted to these type of dudes out there who talk loud, try to carry a big stick, try to have this swagger. They got this movement, this energy that they have that black women are attracted to. They're attracted to this over masculine type energy, which I call false masculinity. Okay. And then they begin to get involved with these kind of brothers. And we heard the story all over again, how they get ran through and then they want to come back to what they call the lame brothers later on to get married, to give them support, to say, I want a real good man. I think part of the problem is that you have brothers out here who mess it up for other brothers. Because think about this, O'Shea. How many women have you personally dealt with who bring you all this emotional baggage from some other dude who fucked them up? Whoa. And now you're now being held to a standard that they did not hold the other dude to, that they were dropping the draws to, right? And so now you got to deal with all this bullshit. And the men that they were dealing with like this had children by different women all over goddamn town. And so because of, there's a thing called, what do you call that? You've heard this before. We all have been imprinted. We've been imprinted by the women that we've had in our life. Women are imprinted themselves. So they've been imprinted by these type of guys. And then it affects their psyche to the point that they look at every black man the same because they've been so emotionally damaged by those guys who have actually impacted brothers like ourselves who ain't about the bullshit. And then we got to deal with all that cleanup work. And I don't want to be a damn therapist for a woman. I don't want to be her therapist. And then they bring that shit, they project, it's called counter projection and projection. They project that shit onto you when they start asking you questions about how many kids you have. And do you have a job? And do you have this and that? And because they begin to believe that all black men ain't shit. And we see it on YouTube where people say this kind of stuff.
So, brother, you are bringing on some good points, man. I got 2 videos now for the brother information, man. Now, we had to bring him over to our manosphere community. Let me go ahead and just give some shout outs to you, brothers. I definitely appreciate you. Hey, interviewee Nicole, good to see you. My brother Love C. Shawty, good to see you. This brother from Norway, Saad Abade, thank you, brother, for those Danish crones, those Swedish Norwegian crones. Steve on the East Coast says, I had a woman reject her offer of sex due to this. Wow. Timer TV, I have custody of my daughter, and it kind of works in my favor when women find out. Okay. Brother Keenan Richards, I definitely thank you for the $5. Brother Nana Welbeck, price discrimination is real. Thank you, brothers, all for coming over here supporting the show. Give me a like on the video. It seems the notifications are not working as good as they should be, but we'll still continue on. Information, man, let me ask you this.
Yes, sir.
And I will say this, right? Black men who are 30s and 40s, that age bracket, they get talked bad about if they are dating a woman that is 20, 25, or much younger than them in the Western world. The reason why I'm saying this is because, you said that the younger women that may try to date you, they don't have a problem with the fact that you have a child. But the older women who you think that maybe, they don't look as good as they used to, they should be glad to have anybody to, show them that attention, in their 40s or whatever. They're the ones that have a problem. Why do you think that the younger women who are still in their most attractive stages and have a lot of opportunities are not so bothered by it as the older women are?
Well, this has been my experience because I've been with women that were younger than me, but I never went into the situation saying that I'm going to have a life with the younger women because I was realistic about it. I'm saying, well, if I'm this much older than her, eventually she may, leave me behind. But let me just say this. I think quite naturally the younger women are attracted to older men. And I've heard younger women tell me this because they say that the younger guys play too many games. They want a mature man. Let's be honest. They like that father figure energy that you may give off to them. They want a man that's established. And for the most part, a lot of younger women in some cases are looking to have a family of their own. And they may see you, they may covet you because they feel that you have the qualities, maybe the establishment, the financial stability to give them the kind of life that they want. With older women who have been either ran through, they have emotional baggage, they've been through a lot of shit, they've been married before. The problem with them is that they're in a stage of their life where they say, hey, I've raised my family, I've raised my kids, I was married, I've been through a lot of shit with Negroes, and now it's time for me to have fun. They become individualistic in their ideology. It's all about them now, right? And so because it's about them, when you come along and you say, well, I have a young child, I was married, but I don't have drama. I say this all the time. I don't have drama with my ex. I don't have my child 24 hours a day. They'll always say to you to counter that and say, well, I'm not trying to be a mother. And I'm saying to myself, well, shit, I didn't ask you to be a mother of my child. My child has great grandparents. My child has big family on her mother's side. So my child is well taken care of. I'm not looking for another mother. But older women tend to think that when you have a younger child, at the time when my child was very young in her age, they tend to think that you're trying to make them a mother again, and they feel like they've already raised their kids, and now it's all about them. And because it's all about them, they don't want you having time away from them that's being put and invested in a child. They'll see you putting the child above them, just like we as men will see women putting their childs above us. And then they always give you this sort of bullshit. Come on. When you tell them that when you tell them that you get along with your ex, you have no drama, then they try to give you this guilt trip and say to you, come on, be honest. You still want to be back with your ex-wife. Okay? They'll put that out there because you say that you don't have any drama. They think that you're trying to get back with the ex. And you're like, hey, I'm past that. So that's sort of what I have dealt with personally. I don't know how folks in the chat room, what their thoughts are.
No, I think that it's very positive. Brothers, do me a favor and like the video, and then I'm going to go ahead and do some shout-outs to you guys that are here. I definitely appreciate you being here. We'll acknowledge some of you there. Information Man, you said some very, very interesting things, especially the part that I want to talk about right now, the fact that, they're willing they want to step out and have their fun. Here's what I kind of wonder. And I hate to say this, but I got to say this, right? I know you're a pro-black brother just like I am. I'm living in Poland.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Be honest.
Do you think... I got to go here, though. But we always have a lot of brothers, like, there's a brother in... I'll mention him by name. His name is Chief Drino. Have you seen his brother before? He's from Australia.
No, brother, I haven't seen him, but I definitely have to check him out, brother.
Okay, so he loves a white woman. He's one of those pro-blacks that.
Oh, okay. Wait a minute. Is that the brother he's in Africa or he's in Australia? Oh yeah. I'm familiar with him. Oh yeah, you had him on, and he was heated in the chat room because he was saying a lot of controversial stuff.
Yeah. So I want to know, man, I got to go there, information, man. A lot of brothers who want to stay in the community and deal with black women, like you and myself, we made that conscious decision that, despite whatever other opportunities that we may have, we're going to try to stay in our communities because we love black people. But when you have black men who are trying to date black women in certain areas and obstacles, and they're living in a very integrated place like Sacramento or in Los Angeles, do you think, and I want you to be honest, do you think that other groups of women have that attitude towards black men that have a child? From your knowledge that you may know of somebody else, that black women are giving brothers with a child. Do you think other groups are doing that to black men as much as black women are doing it?
I can only go by my experience and my conversations with other brothers. I think that that in general, all women have the potential to do that to you, but particularly the brothers in my circle who date black women, that has been their report, that that we get a lot of pushback from our own women as it relates to these issues, which goes back to what I had said earlier, because a lot of black women, unfortunately, have been involved with the wrong type of men who have done some terrible things to them. And so they developed this mindset that all black men are like this. All black men have kids by different women. All black men don't take care of their kids, and so on and so forth. So I would say the pushback comes more from our own women, because other race of women, they're not really being inundated with the stereotypes about black men. Other women have the stereotypes that other women have about black men is the sexual stuff, right? You know, have you ever been with a black man before? That type of stuff. But I don't know that they are that entrenched in our culture to understand this dynamic that we deal with. Now, let me correct myself too. Again, all women that are older have the potential to have this same attitude, no matter what their race is. But the brothers that I talk to are getting the most of this pushback, I'll repeat again, from black women. This is not to say that black women are the only ones that do this. So I don't want any sisters out there to misunderstand where I'm coming from, or anybody.
Okay. Let me talk to the brothers out there that are going through such situations. But let's talk about, more or less the online dating situations.
Oh,
I know
God.
online dating.
I hate it.
Let's talk a little bit about that, because you've mentioned that.
Boy, I hate it.
When you are a brother that is, in the 30s and 40s and doing the online dating, are you trying to match with women that are your age? Are you looking for women that are younger? And you said you hate it. What do you hate about online dating?
Well, brother, what is there not to hate? I think online dating is it's the easiest way to meet people that you normally wouldn't have probably never met out and about if you wouldn't run across them, right? But the thing about online dating, it allows people who should not really be putting themselves out there. Let me give you an example. Most of the women that I've met in the past through online dating will put it out there and say they're looking for a relationship. They're looking for A, B, and C, right? Okay. And you go by what they present to you. You go by the pictures that they present and what have you. You say, okay, I hope this person's real. But then what I'm learning is that a lot of women that I have dealt with through the online dating, and in women in general, they don't always tend to know what the hell they want. They want everything, but not a damn thing. So they say they want a relationship, for one. But then you find out later on that they just broke up with their ex-husband, or they just broke up with someone that they're still in love with. And they're using the online dating as a transition to get them past that breakup or the ex-husband or whatever. And they'll try to use you as the transition man to get them, to make them feel that, hey, I still got it. So sometimes women are using online dating to bring attention to themselves when they really have no intention to really have anything serious with you. Or, and in some cases, because they say that men use online dating just to get sex. Let me keep this real with you. There are a lot of women out there who are using online dating, okay, to bust some ass, okay? They will be quick to want to give it up to you, right? And it also feeds their ego, because unlike ever before in history with online dating, it gives women who otherwise are not that attractive when you see them in person. They put them damn filters on, which I hate. It gives them instant attention right in the palm of their hand, of their phone, that they would have never otherwise gotten. So it's giving older women this sort of attention that they really, in some cases, don't deserve. It's not warranted. And then another thing, when you meet women and they're not what you saw on the photo, I'm pissed off. I'm giving you an example. Let me give you an example.
Give me brother. Go ahead.
I met a woman one time. She had a picture, very attractive from the picture. We talked on the phone. Okay. She said all the right things. We met in person. This is why this is very dangerous. And when we met in person, I was like, God damn, what the hell? The woman had to be 30 to 40 years older than her photo. She must have put a photo of herself when she was 20 years old. And I know men do this too, but goddamn, I'm like, wait a minute. You just lied to me. You just catfished me. What the hell is this about? So I'm like, whoa, no, I'm not interested in this. So a lot of the women, and then another thing is the worst thing, Instagram. Oh my God, Instagram is, not Instagram, what is that? Snapchat. The worst thing that could have happened because you got all these women putting filters on themselves. And the filter does not represent who they are. So that's false advertisement. You have just falsely advertised. And then you know what really bothers me too, O'Shea, you got women who will make make a profile. Don't put no picture on there. But they expect, and then they'll say to you, show me some more pictures of you. And I'll be like, well, wait a minute. You don't even have a goddamn picture. Then they'll say to you, well, I'll email you my picture. It's just that I don't want everybody seeing me, right? I'm a kind of a private person. Then when you see the picture, you're like, oh, hell no. Then you see the picture and you say, oh, hell yes. You meet them and it's like, oh my God, I just want to get out of this. And so O'Shea, real quick story. I met a woman one time. She showed up to the damn date drunk as hell. So she walked into the place. I gave her a hug and I was like, oh my gosh, she's intoxicated, right? And I said, wait a minute, this must be a joke. Remember that show on BET called Hell Date? So this woman was acting crazy. She was talking about how she hadn't eaten a long time. I was like, oh God, is she a crackhead or something? And she didn't present this way when I talked to her. And then I'm thinking to myself, this must be that show Hell Date. I'm waiting for the little guy to come out with the devil outfit. And I'm like, oh shit, ain't nobody coming out. This the real deal. And then the waiter, she was like, I gotta go to the bathroom. The waiter came out. He was like, man, are you okay? I said, this is a date from hell. I had to get the hell out of there, O'Shea. I had to get out of there. It was crazy.
How did you get out of there, brother? What did you
Well, she came back and started acting more belligerent. And I said, look, get away from me. Get the hell out of here. Goodbye with you, right? And then I drove back and I said, never, ever again am I doing this. So the problem with online dating is that women can present themselves in a certain manner that is not who they are, whether it be their personality, the way they look, all of that. Online dating allows people to present themselves in ways that they are not. And I know to the ladies out there listening that men do this stuff too. But I'm saying ladies do this stuff big time. And I'm going to tell you one thing right now. Women, in my experience that I've had, they waste a lot of your time because they don't always know what they're looking for. And so online dating to me, in a lot of ways, is a waste of time because you're just shooting at the wind to try to find the right person. I believe that a lot of the women, and this is going to probably hurt some people out there, I believe that a lot of the women that you find online are sort of the bottom of the barrel women who get online and then they got nothing going for them. And when you meet them, they got an emotional problem. Almost every woman that I have met online has some sort of emotional baggage. And it scares the hell out of me. And then they tell you later on, I even had a woman one time say to me, well, I just want to let you know I've got some mental health issues. I take this medication. And I'm like, well, why didn't you tell me this before? God damn it. So it's crazy, man.
Wow.
I've had some weird shit happen to me.
That story right there. Information, man. I know from the one time you got some really good stories, man. I haven't even begun to crack into the most of the stories that I have. Oh my God! This is the kind of stuff that we deal with, and this is the thing that really is the ringer, O'Shea. When I've created a profile, I always say I was married. I have one child. I have no drama. You get a woman who reads your profile. Then she wants to meet you, talk to you, what have you. And then you meet them and you say, hey, this person here that I met seems to be pretty cool. Then later on down the line, they say, well, I'm really not looking to be a mother. It's about me having fun. Like I said before. And then I'll say, well, wait a minute. You knew on my profile that I had a child. So if you did not want to get involved with a man who has a child due to being married, then you should have never wrote me in the first place. You should have never asked for my number.
You should have never wanted to meet me in person. See, you just wasted my time. You just wasted my time, right? Another thing that I don't like, I don't know, for those of you that have been married before, you can relate to this. This is another thing that really bothers me, O'Shea. No matter, as a man, no matter how long you've been divorced. Now, I've been divorced going on 11 years now. No matter how long you've been divorced, once you've been married and you've been divorced, it's like a scarlet letter S on your chest, right? Because when you meet women, you got to always say, well, I was married. Then you got to repeat why you got a damn divorce, because they're going to ask you, well, why were you divorced? And I get sick of always having to repeat the story over again. You know why? Because you never are allowed to move on in your life, because you often have to keep repeating over and over again. You could be divorced freaking 20, 30 years. Okay? And you're repeating a damn story about a relationship that you've been moved away from. But when you ask women about their situations, about being married, they don't really want to divulge all of their business. But yet they require you as a man to divulge all the details about why you weren't married. But then when it comes to them, they want to minimize the shit when you ask such questions. And another thing I always do, because women do this, I want to know, if you ask women how many kids they have, that's why it's a double standard. They will really get upset with you and uncomfortable with you. But yet it's okay for women to divulge information from you that they feel that if you do the same to them, you're being a creepy guy. It's a double standard.
Let me just do this, guys. We got 158 people watching. So if I could, I know the notifications are not working today. They didn't go out. You guys just happened to see me live and came through. So I really appreciate that. I know we would have much more people if the notifications were working. Can you do me a favor, and everybody that's in here, can you like the video? I would really appreciate it. Thank you for those brothers in here that are here. In a second, you comment your city and state. We'll definitely shout you out before the show's in. Thank you, Brother Nana Welbeck, again for that $5 super chat. And thank you for those who are liking the video. Let me kind of talk more about this also, because you make a good point. Women also, if they don't want to divulge, is it me or is it all their relationships when it ends? Like, as men, we are a little bit more honest as to why it ended. Well, she did this, but I also cheated on her and she might have found out, and this is what happened. But when women, it's always the guy's fault. They didn't do anything. He did everything. Do you notice that? Yeah.
Almost every woman that I've talked to, dating site, or I've met, they've been in a situation, they've been divorced, they'll say the same thing, that it was the man's fault. But I've always learned that it takes two to tango. Now, you're right. Men, we can be honest about this. Every woman that I've been involved with, that I've talked to, I say, hey, me and my ex had a communication problem in our relationship. We had an amicable breakup. We decided it wasn't working after 15 years of marriage. But most importantly, I always say, hey, I did some shit too. I wasn't perfect. Matter of fact, O'Shea, I got married. When I got married to my wife, when I look back on it now, I really should have never gotten married. I can admit that I really was not ready for marriage as I thought I was. If I was to get married again now, I think I'm more prepared to deal with marriage now, because I was selfish. I thought about myself. There were certain things that I did and then certain things that she did. So I can be honest about that. And any woman that I get involved with, I will tell them that. But the problem is, when women deal with men, they sort of deal with us like an investigator. Even when you tell them your truth and the truth, they will ask you over. And I understand why they do this, because they want to make sure you ain't lying to them, that you're not slipping up in the truth. But once again, when you try the same narrative towards them, the same approach, they get uncomfortable with you. Then they begin to say, oh, well, I don't think I want to talk to you. You seem you're tripping now. So it's just, I think we live in a society, I think you might agree with this, and those, I think we live in a society where we protect women and we don't protect men. And that when women speak their feelings, because they're emotional and we're supposed to operate on logic, we live in a society where you're supposed to be sensitive to a woman's needs, issues, and feelings. So if a woman tells you that she was done wrong by a man, you're supposed to just outright believe that, because women can do no wrong because they're the weaker sex. That's the stereotype. That's the manipulation and the social conditioning of society, that women can do no wrong, right? When I know for a fact, because I've had a lot of friends that have been married, that women cheat just as much as men. Women lie just as much as men do. They just do a better job at it. They do a better job at it. And a lot of times women, when they do this sort of stuff, they'll say to us, well, I cheated because he didn't listen to me. He didn't give me attention. And when they tell you that, you're supposed to accept their answer and judge, and don't judge them. Men, when we do our dirt, women will tell us, well, you're just a dog. You shouldn't have done her like that. Even if we say, well, this is why I did what I did, because my wife didn't listen to me. She didn't give me the respect that was due me. All these different things, we're told that this is why we're wrong doubly. Once again, a double damn standard. And society has taught us this double standard since the time we were kids. When we grew up, what did our mother say to us growing up? Now, you be nice to the girls. You make sure you open the door for them. You make sure if something happens to them that you protect them. We're already culturally conditioned to capitulate to women's feelings and thoughts. And society is culturally conditioned to say, don't give a damn about men. Because men are culturally conditioned to be what? You got to be strong. You can never show weakness and any signs of it. And that's the world we live in.
Let me ask you this, as far as a question, because in the manosphere, and shout out to some of the brothers that are traveling guys. Where's my overseas passport guys at? Press 6 if you are a guy who has your passport. I know some of you brothers have heard the good news. There is no longer a visa requirement for you to go to Brazil. So some of you brothers are really, really excited about that with the USA passports. So let's see where the passport brothers are. Thank you, Brother Nana Welbeck. That's Information Man Show in the chat right there. Let me ask you this.
Well,
there are a lot of. Go ahead.
I got my passport. So even if Brazil didn't change at all, Negroes, get your passport. Get it together. Okay?
Right.
Get it together regardless. Go ahead, Osha. I just had to show that.
Let me. What do you think about black men? Obviously, the brothers that are going over to Brazil, trying to find a lot of, trying to find maybe a connection there. There's a lot of black women in Brazil, especially in the Salvador Bahia part.
Yes.
You got brothers going to the Dominican Republic. I met some brothers in Uganda, which I was amazed. I've been here for I don't know how long. And I've never seen, I met 2 African Americans in 2 days.
Wow.
You have black men coming to Africa because they're tired of situations was going on in the West. How do you feel about brothers going overseas to Africa or Brazil? I know some people feel a little bit, indifferent about that, and dealing with women of other cultures because of some of the strife that black men are having in America with black women.
I was indifferent about it at one point in time, and I'm familiar with the brother. Who's the brother? You know the brother. I think he passed away. He had a say it again. Charles Tyler. I was familiar with Charles Tyler. I used to look at his material on Facebook. I think I'm still a member of his the Facebook group that he has. I was indifferent about it until I really opened my mind, took the time to really listen to the brothers and what they were saying. And I'm gonna be completely honest. One, a black man has a right to travel wherever he wants. A black man, if he wants to find black love in any country around the world, he has 100% right. Women have the right to do what they want to do. Hell, they do it. And they'll tell you, kiss my ass. They'll do what they want to do. So I think that if black men are going to Brazil, provided they're not being used, because, a lot of these women in some of these countries are looking for a passage into America, right? You have to also ask yourself this. the women that you find in these countries, if they are good quality women, why haven't they been wiped up by the native black men that are there? And that's another question for another. Okay, now I have to ask that. I gotta be real. If those women in those other countries are what they are, brother, if they are the viable women, why haven't they been wiped up by the black Brazilian men? Why haven't they been wiped up by the brothers in the Panama and the Cuba and all these other places, right? That's a question for another show that you may want to explore, O'Shea. That's what I have to say to preface. But I do understand that if you can find love with a black woman in another country, you have every right to do that, because I do believe in what Charles Tolliver said, is that in America, we are in the matrix of the dating. The American culture is so poisoned in the way our women are. There's no tradition. And if you can find a black woman in another country that respects, a patriot type system where a man is a man is the ruler of that household, and that woman gives you respect, love, care, the whole 9 yards. If you can't find that kind of black woman in America because you've been through all the dating sites, you've been out there and you're just sick of it, and you find love in a black woman in Brazil, you have every right to. Okay. I think that our women in America have a problem with it. Even when you are dating a black woman from another culture, they have a problem with it because they feel that they should have some control and possession over you and what you should do and what you can't do. And black men, we have the right to do what we want to do, even if it is going overseas to meet black women. What's wrong with that? It depends on where you are in your life.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's a very powerful statement that you made, man. I never thought about it like that, brother. But I got to do a show on that, a call-in show. That queue will be high. Yeah,
because I plan to go over. I'm planning to go back over to Brazil myself. And my thing is like this: the women over there are beautiful, sexy, the whole 9 yards, right? I got some friends that live over there. I actually was involved with a woman from Brazil, two women from Brazil, that I'm still friends with to this very day. And lovely women, lovely culture. But the fact of the matter is, you really have to look at women in these other countries and ask yourself, too, if they are what they are, why haven't they been wiped up? And two, of course, a lot of these women are going to be extra nice to you because they may see you as a big fat passport to America. Some women, not all. Because the women that I've been involved with, they live here in America. They go back to Brazil. And the best thing about Brazil, I think, as a black man, is that we can go over there and we can blend in to a certain degree. So, we got the black female trolls over here. They really hate that. Shout out to Brother Markel's TV. But see, this is the thing, O'Shea, for the women that are in the chat room. Why? My question is very logical. Why, if I as a black man have dated black women in America, been married in America to black women, have done everything here in black America, and I happen to go to Brazil, right, and I meet a woman who is black but happens to speak Portuguese, okay, and I fall in love with her, and she's not taking me to the bank or something, that she's genuine. Why would black women in America have a problem with that if I'm a black man who has dated black women in America, that I've done it all? Right. So I'm not just saying that, hey, the hell with black women in America, date black women or women exclusively outside. I'm saying if I've done that, but I've happened to meet someone abroad, why would that be a problem? Because I'm going to tell you right now, if we were to tell black women, hell, wait a minute, O'Shea, there was what was that reality show where you had a black woman that was telling black women to go to Spain, Italy, come on now, let's tell it. Yeah. If we gonna tell it, let's tell it. She was telling black women that in Spain, because I know this for a fact, that a lot of those Italian men in Spain and in Italy, they like black women, okay? And you got black women that go over there, and they're going over there messing around with these Europeans. So why would you hate on black men who are going to foreign countries, getting involved with black women in foreign countries, but it's okay for you to go over to Spain and Italy and get involved with these Europeans who only want to use you anyway for a black experience. I'm just being honest.
I'm going to just say this like this, brother information man. Even, I remember when Dynasty Mir, shout out to the brother Dynasty Mir, search for Hulu. Shout out to the brother JJ Redwood, brother Falcon Black, good to see you. He went over to Senegal and he posted a picture on Facebook. I remember it was some months back. And he posted, these Senegalese women are so feminine. Listen, black women in America, they will have a problem if you are going anywhere outside of where they're at. If brothers are going to Haiti or Jamaica or Africa, listen, black women in America, this is my thoughts. For a lot of guys that really don't want them, they just want you to be worshiping them and have their attention. It's kind of like the white man, you said, wherever black people going, he don't want to let us go. Mm-hmm. Yeah? But see, black women don't want to let black men go. They want us on that same plantation too. Look, you niggas better stay here liking my pics and telling me how beautiful I am.
Yes.
And as soon as that black man start to go someplace else and do some things different, black women are mad about that no matter if you're going to England, dealing with black women in Brazil, dealing with black women with all that stuff. Nigga, don't you orange me, Mayor, whatever your name is, Negro. Time your ass out. Who are you? Don't you ever in your life at me, Negro. I don't know you. You better come correct trying to get my attention, motherfucker. Don't you ever do that in your motherfucking life. Oh, I'm sorry about the information, man.
Somebody tried to time you out on your own channel?
Nah, man, I hate when these niggas come in my chat room trying to at me and get my motherfucking attention. Nigga, you know how to do that shit with super chat like everybody else with your stupid ass. Don't you come here trying to orange me, nigga. All right. You don't fuck around and get your ass cussed out on my motherfucking show. I'm trying to be nice because we got a good guest, nigga, but don't play the motherfucking role. I will still cuss your ass out, nigga. Don't you ever come in my motherfucking chat room doing that shit. All right, brother. Again, I'm sorry about that.
Nah, you know what the thing is too? Let's just keep it real. Ultimately, black women in America love black men. They are afraid, consciously and self-consciously, that they're going to lose us and that they are losing us. So for all of their shortcomings that we complain about, despite whatever their shortcomings are and whatever shortcomings they have that they see about us, at the end of the day, black women still love us, and they feel that we're slipping away from them. And that's the reason why they don't really want us going abroad, because they still feel that we belong to them. And that no matter what our fuckeries are, that no matter what, we belong to them. And so they have the right to dictate what we do, because after all, O'Shea, we came from a black woman. We came from a black woman in America. So how dare we decide to even date black women in other countries? Because wait a minute, you came from a black woman here, Negro. We own you. We made you. Okay? So that's where I think some of the ideology comes from. In some cases, on a psychological level. This is why black women are very much concerned. But see, this is the thing that our women have to understand. Black men are loved internationally. All women around the world are curious about us. Now, whether it's sexually or whatever the stereotypes are or not. It is a fact that we are a coveted commodity globally. And I think that black women have to understand that black men, I think we are ranked as some of the sexiest men. And as a result, we are going to get attention from other women. And I just think that our women in America have to step their game up, because other women in other countries are stepping their game up. Now, when I dated the two Brazilian women that I'm telling you about that live here in America, when I dated them, it was a different experience, because they grew up in a culture where the man was the center of the family. So the way the women treated me, the way they talked to me, the way they covered me, the way they carried themselves, it was a beautiful experience that I enjoyed. Okay. Now, the relationships didn't continue because both of them went back to Brazil. So that's why it did not continue. So they had family issues going on back in Brazil, and they ended up leaving and going back. And I was not in a situation that I could go back. So that's why we're still friends. But it was a great experience that I had because I liked the way they treated me, the way they carried themselves, and what have you. It wasn't just about sex. That's the stereotype. And I think black women in America need to understand, as a black men, we look at how you treat us, how you make us feel, how you give us respect, and we look at how you carry yourself. And how you carry yourself is how we're going to categorize who and what we think you are, whether you think you're a hoe, your wife material, girlfriend material, or just having fun material. This is it. And I think women in America have this entitlement because America causes you to have entitlement because we're so free. And the more we're free here in America, it also affects us in negative ways. Okay? And women in other cultures, they just have a certain way of femininity is very important. They're feminine. Right. Like I said, the way they talk to you, the way they behave around you. And women should understand this about men. It's not what you say to us, it's how you say it. Use tact.
Oh, say it again, brother. Say it again,
women in America need to understand one important aspect. It's not what you say to us, it's how you say it and the tact that you use. And the women that I have dealt with that were from other cultures that were black, their tact was a hell of a lot different than the tact that women in America use. And that's the difference.
Wow. Shout out to my brother Jay Shine Randoms out there, my brother, man, out there in Europe, man. I want to congratulate my brother for picking up, man, and moving to a new place. He's in Germany. And, and every time we see our people, man, going and doing the different things, we always just salute our brothers, man, that are going outside of the country doing some things, man. I'm going to bring the brother on hopefully this week. I'm really proud of that brother. He's also, I believe he has, he's similar to you, information, man. He's a single father, and that brother is out there in Germany. He picked up and he has doing some really great things, man. So I'm glad to see our people. Whenever we have our brothers out here doing things, they don't let certain situations stop them. So I want to just give a good shout out to Jay Shine.
Right.
All right, salute. I'm going to come out there and buy him a beer. Shout out to brother True Secret for $2 super chat. Michael Gray, I caught a live stream, dog. I'm in my Tommy Ford voice. $10 super chat. Let me talk to you about this information, man. I'm a kind of veer off on the topic.
Okay, no problem, brother.
Oh, and brother Jay Shine, he brought his daughter with him to Germany. Now,
hey, wait a minute. That's Jay Shine in there? What's up, Jay Shine? Peace to you, brother.
Jay Shine.
Yeah, peace to you. Yeah, I love Jay Shine. He's a solid brother out there in Germany. That's right.
Out there. Miriam, but she said, "Screw you, Charles Merchant. I have a right to speak. I have not said anything offensive. I'm a regular contributor here." Shout out to me.
And shout out to brother Edward Anderson too out there.
Yeah, he's gonna be on the Rumble tonight. I hope I can get you on there, information, man.
Yeah, I mean, if you got room for me, brother, I'm more than happy to be a part, man. Well, you got a popular show, and you're gonna have a lot of people. But make sure you can keep ABL under some. He's gonna get on there with that fuckery tonight, and I don't want to hear it.
You know what, I will say this though, that you have the most. I think you have the most. I think Super Sly is like the most controversial to lead off.
Yeah.
You are the most impacting. Like when you are there, if you're not there, it ain't the same.
Oh, thank you, brother. I appreciate that.
The compliment. Anybody agree with me in the chat that I think the information man, he has the most sound bites, he has the most interruptions, he got the most filibusters, he got the most long-windedness, he got the most arguments, he got the most of everything. Like he carried the show. Every week he carried the show. I think I've been off the Sunday Rumble. Everybody know you in Black YouTube now because of the Sunday Rumble.
And I appreciate it, brother. Thank you.
Yeah. I think when you're not there, everybody's like, damn, this Rumble, it's all right. But it ain't like, but when you're there, it's like, okay, with information, man, icon come up, you got to show. And especially if you get ABL on there at the same time.
Yeah.
But let me ask you this. Because obviously we saw what happened with the sister out there in Dallas.
Yes.
But I went to the club last night out here. I'm in Uganda. Okay. I might be out here for some time. I'm doing some work for my new channel, Kinganda. I was out a few days ago kicking out with Woden Maya and Miss Trudy. Had a good time with them. I noticed, brother, that I see a lot. I'm going to do a video on this. I saw a lot of old white men, 70, 80 years old, 60 years old, with young, beautiful black women.
Is that? Oh, wow.
I always see it whenever I come to Africa. It don't matter if I'm in South Africa. It don't matter if I'm... Shout out to Brother Markel TV with all that money, that 10,000 Colombian pesos. I'm going to take it to the strip club, brother.
Trick it off.
Now, I know Markel says that it's age not a problem in Colombia, but here's what I'm noticing, brother. I'm noticing that in Africa, I'm seeing that I don't see a lot of older black men. Because they got older black men that got money here. I mean, they got people in Africa that got more money than you think. Mm-hmm. Everybody out here ain't broke, man. People pushing Range Rovers and pushing Lamborghinis and stuff, just like in the States. Don't get it twisted.
All right.
But I want to ask you this. When I see that these younger African women are dating these white guys, to me, that's looking like, okay, man, is it because they have a lack of respect for their men? And then I want to kind of contrast what's going on in Black America. When we see a lot of the vitriol that some African American women have, in our age groups, because the ones that are 20 and 19 and stuff like that, they don't have a whole lot of experience about the world. But do you think that there's anything that black men can do to change this sort of attitude that some of these black women have towards us, or have they just, in your opinion, given up hope?
Well, we have to address, O'Shea, why are black women, whether it be in Africa or America, why are they getting involved with white men? And what does that mean? And what is the cultural conditioning behind that? Right? We've been taught in this culture that black men ain't shit, that black men don't have jobs, education, that black men don't take care of their families, that black men are criminals, that black men don't have respect for women. And so when you, like I said, when you have some black women who have had bad experiences with some black men who do not represent the whole, they begin to gravitate towards the very thing that's promoted and advertised on their television and their ads. And that is that white men are large and in charge, right? There's an old saying, O'Shea. It's a saying that I'm white, 21, and I'm boss. And I think that black women globally as well will buy into that and say that, well, the white man can put me into the lifestyle that I'm in. This is why you've got this whole swirling phenomena going on. And I think the only way that black men can change this is that we have to take control of our image. I think you have people on YouTube like Asenian and many others, Kevin Samuels, who talks about this, about image, being on your image game, being confident, assertive, and having black male media. If we have black male media, then we can push our own narratives. It seems like the narrative of who black men are usually being pushed by female type publications, your Essence magazines, who will have these articles about love and men and black men, but it's usually coming from a female perspective. Okay, so we've got to first take control of our image and who we are, and we have to stand on our square about who we are. And I think that YouTube and any type of media form that we have is the way to go. Okay, and then we have to prove who we do what we do by example, right? Covet women who fit what we're looking for. Covet women that fit what we're looking for and who we are and what we represent. This is what I'm going to say to you, and that's going to be controversial to a certain degree. On YouTube, I think that on YouTube, a lot of times black men are either complaining. I hate to use that term, complaining, but black men are giving their first-hand account of their experiences with women, just as I did when it comes to dating and the whole older women thing, right? But at some point, we kind of know what the issues are, and we need to covet women and promote women on YouTube and anywhere else who don't fit those narratives. So there are black women on YouTube who do not fit those narratives. Why are we not celebrating those women? Why are we not celebrating those black men who don't fit those stereotypical narratives on the other side, right? But we spend a lot of time on in live streams debating about what's wrong with black women, what's wrong with black men. But I hear very little solutions to these issues. My thing is this: throughout all the problems, and another thing is, I hear a lot of younger brothers talking about what's wrong with our women. And for a lot of them, they don't have any skin in the game because they've never even been married. For me, I can give you a ton of stories, bad stories I've had. But for me right now in my life, I don't really have time to spend a lot of time talking about what's wrong with black women 24/7 on YouTube, because I'm too focused on how to win, how to covet the right women in my life. Now, I'm currently involved with a woman right now who I covets me, and we're going about things in a very beautiful way. We're taking our time. We're talking to each other. She has qualities that I like. Matter of fact, she works in the same similar field as I do, okay? Educated woman. She's had her family. She's been there, done that with marriage as well. And we're both on the same page. So she doesn't fit the narrative. And we've been involved with each other for some time now. She doesn't fit the narrative that I hear a lot of brothers talking about black women on YouTube. Okay, those women are out there. So I decide that, okay, those women who don't fit my narrative of what I want in my life, I don't deal with them. And I don't have a lot of time to give energy to that personally on my channel. Now, I'll get on a panel and I'll talk about it because these are real, true stories and things that we go through. But at some point, to the black men out there listening, at some point, you have to look at it and say, this is what it is. I don't want that in my life. These are the kind of women that I covet, and you go for the women that you covet. They're out there. They're hard to find. Maybe they're not so hard to find because you got brothers that are going abroad to find the women that they want. I just think we have to make that sacrifice to covet the women that we choose, that we want. And the women that are not for us, the hell with them, move on from them.
Oh, let me ask you this real quick information, man. And I mean, obviously you're a brother that went to college, graduated. You're also in the active fraternity. For those brothers out there, let me take an age check for the brothers out there. Let me comment your age. We might have some brothers in there under 30 that probably want to know this question. You know, how do we put ourselves, in positions to meet the women that, are the good quality black women? Especially if we're in college, if we're in a fraternity, things like that. Are we at 37, 23 years old? Thank you. Rebel Zoe, 1804, 38. Marco L, 57. All right, so let's see what we got here. All right, so I'm going to comment those. Ann 32, Triple Troy, 28. Earl, almost 48. Okay, Justin, 28. Max, him is 35. What would you suggest to those brothers out there that are trying to put themselves in a position to meet a woman who's on the same page? Obviously, online dating is something that has been a terrible experience for a lot of guys. Yeah. What do you suggest to help brothers get in those situations to meet a woman that's more compatible with them and their lifestyle?
Well, I think brothers need to, if you know what type of woman you're looking for or the type of quality of women. For example, if you want a woman who's educated, into college, whatever. You have to target, like anything in life, you target what you want, and then you target where do you find what it is that you want. Now, for me, because I went to college, I had real quick access to the type of quality women that I wanted. Not to say that women who go to college can't be ratchet either, but I had connection to it. I would say school, join an organization. Now, being a member of a fraternity, as I am, Alpha Phi Alpha, I have to say that, brother, it has given me a leg up. I might have some advantages that other brothers don't have, and I'm going to tell you why. Because my organization, we attract a certain quality of women. We have sister organizations, AKs, Deltas, all these other organizations. And so we sort of attract certain type of women. So if I want a woman who's sort of a college-like or whatever, I'm going to attract that because I'm a part of an alumni chapter. I go to parties, social events, whatever. People, I go to these type of balls and events. So I have sort of an advantage because of being a part of this type of organization. It gives me access to cream of the top type women who kind of fit what I'm looking for. It does not mean that you can't find those women who are not part of these kind of organizations, but it just kind of give me that because I can go to these type of functions where these type of women are. And then because of being a part of the organization, these women will also come and look for us because they know to a certain degree that we are black men who have a certain caliber of black men. I'm going to preface this. I'm not saying that I'm better than anybody in the chat room. I'm not saying I'm better than anybody that's listening. But because I'm a part of certain organizations, it gives me access to the type of quality of women that I'm looking for. I'm just being honest. So you gotta decide the quality of women you're looking for and where can you find them, and you need to target that. Right now, for some of you who want to travel, it might be traveling. It may be going to Brazil. It may be going to some of these other places to target the type of women that you want if you're tired of what's happening in America. Okay?
I will say that because I believe Nagone and Alvin Roger Curry in the same.
Yeah, Nagone is a member of my fraternity. We're brothers. And then Roger Curry is a member of Kappa Alpha Psi. Now, when I talked to Alvin Curry and I said, brother, me and you on the same page, because this is the thing. And I don't want to sound elitist here. I know people got their opinions about the boule, but those of you who have negative opinions about the boule, I'll bust your bubble, because there are people that are a part of the quote unquote boule that you follow, that you got pictures on the wall of, that are members of this boule. So I'll bust your bubble, okay? Thurgood Marshall, Dr. Martin Luther King, okay? Those of you who like Huey Newton, who founded the Black Panther Party, well, guess what? He's a member of Phi Beta Sigma. I'll bust you out. Okay, so those of you who talk that, a lot of your people that you follow or members of these organizations. So let me just say, I don't want to sound elitist here. This is the deal. You get certain access to certain women. Women covet you. So when being a member of the organization, if you got somewhat good looks too, I had lots of women who flocked to me, into my organization, into my chapter when I was in school. I had women that would flock to me. Because not only did they like my swagger, but they liked the fact that I was part of an organization that they knew something about that was about something. So I had access. I can go to conventions and meet women in DC, all over the goddamn world, and make a connection. So being a part of these organizations does give you sort of an inroad into this. And it's just the reality. Just like O'Shea, you can agree with this. Once upon a time, there was a time when they said, hey, you can meet a good woman in church. Wasn't that something that people used to say all the time in the past?
Lord have mercy.
Now, I don't know if it's the same anymore now, but that's what people would say. Go to church, right? Now, I'm going to tell you something else too, brother. I never in my life met a woman that was the kind of woman that I covet that I met in a club. So when I used to go out to nightclubs and hang out with my frat brothers or friends, I never was going to a nightclub expecting to meet my wife in a nightclub. I knew that was not the target for that, right? So I knew if I went to a nightclub, if I meet a woman in a nightclub, 9 10 times it was going to be a one-night stand. It was going to be to have fun. I didn't look at a woman in a nightclub shaking her booty, giving me attention as wife material, because the way I look at it, if it wasn't me, it'd be the next man. I never wanted to meet a woman under the ops of being drunk and intoxicated in a club. When I met my wife, I met her in school just before I got ready to graduate. We met very innocently in study hall. And then from there it took off. So I already knew that she was wife material because I saw where her mind was. Her mind, right? Now, check this out. The woman that I'm currently involved in, brothers, I'm going to give you some game here. The first thing you want to do, and I'm going to use some language here, so bear with me. The first thing you want to do, brothers out there, is you want to fuck a woman's mind first. Don't fuck her body first. Fuck her mind first. When you have her mind based on your intelligence and how you carry yourself, you already are going to get into her self-conscious and her soul mentally, right? And what happens is, with the woman that I'm involved with, and we were talking about this yesterday, she already admitted to me that she's afraid to get a little attached. And the reason why is because she knows that I already got her mentally. So now, when the intimacy heats up, she has a certain fear of how it's going to make her lose herself to me, because I've already got her mentally. And I think that's the tool that black men need to use with our women. We need to get them mentally first. I know there's brothers on YouTube who talk about, how to bust a nut, how to get them in bed, right? That's if you just want to smash and grab. But I think, and I think even Simple to P would agree with me. You got to get the mind first. If you get the mind, everything else will fall.
No, I definitely would agree with that, my brother. So let's see what we have. Let me go ahead and shout out to a few people that are here in the chat. Let me shout out to the brother Charles Merchant, T. Kelly. I don't go back and forth with the help, especially if I don't own it. About the Charles Merchant out of Oakland.
Oh, okay. Oaktown, the town business to you, brother.
In Vegas. Yeah. So how about this, man? Let me do this. Do me a favor, because we only have 297 likes, and listen, you know what I always do. But we have information man come on to the show. I'm pretty sure this will get a lot of good playback.
How can you have 98 likes? You got 227 people watching. Something doesn't make sense.
These are black people we talking about, so they don't like videos.
Okay.
Black people are selfish when it comes to free shit. All right, so let's do this. That's the brother right there. YouTube channel. Let's subscribe to the brother. Help him get some subscribers. Keep the likes coming up, and all I ask in this YouTube community is for the subscribers that like black YouTube content to support the other creators. And then we're gonna have the Black YouTube Awards in June. We're gonna have the Manosphere Awards in the first part of June, and then we're gonna have the we're gonna include the Rumble Awards. I'm gonna call that for the Black YouTube. So we're going to have a pretty good month in June. The Moderator Awards is going to be again this year. So I plan to spend a lot of money on all of those things. So I appreciate all the moderators. I have a lot of guys been here for a long time. Julian Brown been here for a minute. Falcon Black been here.
Oh, yeah. Falcon Black. Shout out to that, Davis, brother.
He's been rocking for almost a year. T. Kelly, she's a little bit new. She got timed out for a long time. Go ahead, brother.
Now, I want to say shout out to Falcon Black. He came over to I had a little late night thing last night where I was doing some testing with music. I'm playing around with my music that I won't have any copyright problems with. So I'm loving that. Just playing around with a few things. Falcon Black came over and supported me. And let me say to my man Dollar Will of the Black Brain Trust, I love those brothers over there. Every time I do a video, I'm always shouting them out and putting their advertisement up, because I think that black people need to go over there and listen to what these brothers talk about science, space, blockchain, cryptocurrency. Black people, we got to diversify the things that we listen to and that we covet on YouTube, man. I know we like the juicy conversation, but we need stuff that can also enlighten us on the future, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And Black YouTube is like that, man. We like the action-packed shit. But, when it comes like tonight, there's going to be...
Oh, yeah, you probably going to have 500-600 people in there tonight, man. Shit.
Oh, we're going to have more than that.
It's going to be more than that, man. You're going to have it's going to be sitting room only, standing only. Shit.
We got Obsidian over there, so, I love Black YouTube, though, man. Because all that I can really... it's kind of it's fun, right? I like I've been working with everybody over here, Black YouTube.
Well, hey, O'Shea, let's do this tonight. When you do the Rumble, and I know how you end the Rumble, but I'm gonna need to keep you on and Obsidian behind the scenes so that we can. I think that might be a good way to set things up. Behind the back channels. That's try to don't forget that tonight, man. Make sure we keep him on, you, me. And so we can talk some things to set some things up. But You're absolutely right, O'Shea. So,
right, and also, I know I got to post. Speaking of which, I got to post those episodes. The one that E. Dean Cole got into it with Super Slide.
Ooh, that's classic. That's classic.
Yeah,
man.
I got to put that on Patreon.
Yeah, that's the classic one.
Right, baby, I know you want me, okay?
Where is Dr. Ford?
I know that you want me to rub on them ankles, baby. You don't have to act like you don't want me. I know that you need me in your life. That's one thing that I do know. Okay, we both know that you know that you want me. All right. So we ain't gonna be playing with you tonight, baby. I know you got eyes for me, baby. Go ahead on and email me like you know that you want to. All right. All right now. Don't, I know. Go ahead on and get it typing, baby. Just go ahead on and do it because you know you want to. All right. A lot of you women in here, you know that you want me. That's why y'all be in my chat room. Y'all don't think that I know.
You
all right?
want me?
Yeah, they be kind of front and all this. All right, look, man, go ahead on and send me the goddamn email, baby. Go ahead on and confess your love for a real nigga. You don't have to come in here and say stuff like that. Go ahead on and just let me know that you want to be with me. Yeah. All right.
And then if there's any ladies out there who are interested, you can contact the brother. Contact Brother O'Shea if you feel inclined to.
You've been thinking about it already. You've been thinking about it, and you wake up thinking about it, and go to bed thinking about it. I'm not complaining. I'm just explaining. Ain't that right? I know that's right. So anyway, who's this Zensei? I'm gonna get him my.
What's going on, T. Kelly? I see T. Kelly out there in the chat room. Thank you, sister, for being here. She says, "I love you, baby." And Dr. Ford.
I'm sorry, brother. I timed you out on accident.
Uh-oh.
My bad. It was a white man held you back. No, brother. We sorry about that. We sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean he didn't do anything. But all right. So anyways, anything else you want to say to people? Because we're going to have to rumble about 30 minutes.
Brother, I'm gonna get off of here so you can get time to prepare for the rumble because that's gonna be hot. I just want to say to everybody out there, thank you for watching. And hey, I know there's people out there that may disagree with some of the things that I said. Some ladies may agree and disagree. But you know what? We have to be honest that we all have experiences. We've all experienced things. At the end of the day, black men in America, we love black women. We just want to figure out a way to fix some of the shit that we got going on in our community as it relates to our relations. And we got to fix it. And the first thing that we have to do to fix this is that black women have to stop giving excuses when we critique you. And then we have to be honest when you critique us and be able to listen to what you have to say and be able to assess if what you're saying is true to fix those issues. That's the bottom line. If we don't listen to each other and our critiques, we can't fix these problems. And that's just the problem. That's just the reality. So, O'Shea, I want to thank you for having me on, brother, again. I want to thank everybody in the chat room and everybody listening out there and everybody that will watch this on the repeat. And make sure you share the video. And those of you who have gone to my channel and have subscribed, I want to say to you, thank you. And I won't disappoint you. My channel's a little bit different than O'Shea, but I'm going to give you a lot of different subject matters. If you're concerned about your health issues, I'm going to give you that. The type of foods to eat, I'm going to give you that information. If you want to know what's going on, I got a video that I'm dropping today where I'm talking about an actual plan for reparations. I'm going to give you solutions to issues that you think about. I'm going to dig into everything, okay? So you're going to get something, okay, for your time. And thank you.
All right. And again, I appreciate everybody. 27 minutes before the Rumble starts. What up, Miss Bright Eyes? I'm waiting on your email. All right. So, again, thanks, Information Man. That's actually our first official one-on-one. We've done something similar on the Rumble, but just with me and you. It's our first
brother,
show.
And you still owe me that one-to-one interview, too, brother, now.
When you first texted me about that, about almost a year ago, I think the crowd at that time would have been a little rough, but I think now... No, my
audience has broadened out, so you're not going to... If you had been on my channel, in my first, in the beginning, boy, boy, it would have been rough. But it's kind of, even out a little bit.
Right.
So, But let me get on out of here, O'Shea, and get ready for the Rumble. And you got things to do. Everybody out there, peace. Get on over there to the Rumble. And then also everybody, I think I have it scheduled for 7 p.m. or after the Rumble. I'm gonna load up my premiere video. So check that out too as well, everybody. I appreciate your support. Thank you, O'Shea.
All right,
brother. This was real nice.
Peace out,
brother. Peace, brother. Love you. Peace.
Peace out, brothers. Peace out.
Peace, brother. Love you. Everybody, I was on the O'Shea Duke Jackson show talking about the issues of relationship. And I mean everything that I said, that the only way that we are going to fix our problems as a community and as women and men is that we have to start listening to each other and be willing to listen to honest critiques about each other. So with that said, thank you for listening to the Information Man Show, and come on back for some more. Thank you.